First of all, I just want to start by saying thank you, God. Um, this sounds very repetitive, but I'm going to repeat that as much as I can. I need to be thankful for the small things I can be thankful for, and one of the things are, thank you, God. I'm not. Thank you, God. I'm not one of these perps who who've truly, extremely failed in regard to make me internalize this manipulation, and it has become now just agitating. That's it. It was always agitating because I always knew that I was being manipulated, but now it's just becoming so obvious that it's just scary. That they even wanted me to think that people are watching and seeing that we're not doing the things we do. When I laugh, it's just because I know the absurdity and the stupidity that they want me to internalize. It's degrading what I'm experiencing, and I've accepted the reality that I'm no longer myself. I'm going to be forced to experience what they want me to experience, but they still try to make me internalize these things. And nowadays, it's just not even just impossible to do that when the validation of what they do to others is just so bad. I know that they have a game playbook or playbook that they do systematically. It's like a machine that Target Major will put in, and the same tactical things that enter us to break us down. It's like we're just guinea pigs that put in a machine, and the machine does what it does, and trying to refine this machine. And we're just, unfortunately, have to force to be experiencing the most disgusting, disturbing things, and that's meant to break us down. It's a program that's meant to physically, psychologically, and in every fashion break you down psychologically, utilizing some of the most sophisticated technology possible. And they have a whole surrounding. It's so funny. Yesterday I was saying this guy who's like, yeah, we can all be wrong. It's like, yeah, okay. The thing is, they put you in an ecosystem where everybody who's around you, who you encounter or you just interact with or is involved in your surroundings, will participate in the gaslighting. In the gaslighting. And it's like all time individuals saying the same thing. Your coworkers will participate, your neighbors will participate, your family members will participate, and everywhere you go, you'll be forced to experience that. And this guy saying that to me is like, do you know that this is what every target individual or a lot of target individuals say? Do you like? It's like they don't understand how everything they've done is matching to what others have said they do. But they do understand that. They just want you to be that retarded. And still have hope that you will be like internalizing that everybody's saying that's like, yes, because everybody's participating in what's happening to me. That's what happens as a target individual. Family members involve themselves. Co-workers being involved, your friends. That's the same story, in different languages said that. Mothers participate in gaslighting other mothers. Best friends participate in gaslighting. There's nothing unique. And today, so much information is out there because target individuals are speaking, and they speak, and there's target individual in all genders, all races, all status, all. So mothers saying, "Oh, we are being forced to get these experiences," and sometimes mothers are participating in gaslighting me in this. So for me, when I put that in their faces, you guess what's happening? These clowns wanting to be these people that should have been subscriptive to this thing, and like, now you're gonna be fisted, you're gonna be. I know what I'm saying is very graphic, but the reason why they want this level of graphic torture implanted, or me thinking about it, is because they've been humiliated, that they can't even cover up the fact that they do things systematically, that they even force mothers to have sexual arousal toward their own children. And you have some teenage trash that will usually partake in this, not even just teenagers, just young adults, are humiliated that they can't even cover that up. If you tell me that if you do that to women toward their own children, you still try to make it look like you don't do that, it's over. And it's not that I'm trying to convince them. It's like they were trying to convince me that everybody think that we're not manipulating you. Yeah, right. That's how it goes. They do it so system. It's funny. for me, they still think that I can be influenced by external people that I don't know. For example, right now, I'm on a dating app and called Hinge, and somebody who apparently works in some kind of UN kind of, and I'm like, it's like, who's gonna subscribe to this? She works in a governmental, like an extreme, not just governmental, global governmental entity, which this program is clearly run by governmental entities and is clearly global. You failed. The one thing that this program can fail is to make the target individual internalize this manipulation. Now, however you're going to torture me, that's just based on your failure of being able to gaslight me to internalize this. So you're utilizing the last thing you can try to use to try to make somebody internalize this. But before that happened, I've made it clear that I'm not internalizing it. And I made it clear that it's clearly that's something they do to other target individuals. In this program, a lot of target individuals deal with this forced manipulation, that utilizing libido manipulation, arousal, sexual arousals. And they do that in these degrading ways. And then they have what they typically utilize as teenage participants. There's a lot of teenagers, a lot of young adults, a lot of like ecosystem of non-fully mature individuals. Some of them adults, some of them non-adults. And obviously there's grown men and women, mothers and whatnot, try to make you accept this manipulation. And it's hard to make somebody subscribe to this when you have so much information that goes against this purpose, try to gaslight you. I just got done listening to a woman saying, I just witnessed my children being electrocuted or feeling like they're being electrocuted, right? And there's plenty of testimonials like that. And some of the testimonials is like some teenagers participating in the mockery or laughing at my children being tortured to break me down psychologically. So things like that, it's just too much. Sometimes there's some teenage trash shouting and yelling and this emotion. Target individual called that. I was like, a lot of teenagers, usually they slam doors, they shout, like some retard trash. And so for me, it's been so bad for them that they are still wanting to present themselves. Now, I've noticed they're becoming scared because no matter how they behave at this point, it's going to match to what they do to others. I am not somebody who's aggressive, but I know the horror that they're part of. It's some diabolical things consisting of harming children in so many diabolical ways. And the thing is, they think they can be normal people. Some of the participants are parents that have kids themselves. And will participate in what's happening to a mother who is even having children and seeing her children being harmed. So for me, I have accepted what's happening. Everyday citizen can participate in some of the most diabolical things to even children. Because in this thing, this level of evilness has been normalized. And anybody can participate. I'm not fooled by the way they present themselves. I know that people have abilities to block out things, to disconnect themselves when it's convenient. I've understood that people of everyday citizens who believe or claim that they're good people, who love children and take care of children and care for children, would be involved in a program where children are being tortured. And think that it's normal. Because they have a way to somehow like block that part and keep what they want to keep to try to live their fantasy. I've understood that people can make themselves conveniently stupid to enjoy what they want to enjoy. And when you include the non-adults or the young adults, you talk about these people are just wired for that. So I'm going to stay wise, very wise. And they know that that's dangerous for them. Because being wise means that I know that this trash doing all these things are involved in something where they do very diabolical things to children. And what does somebody who knows that want to do to somebody who's involved in that? Bad things. Dangerous things. And I told them, I promised them, I'm going to be very wise. Because this is not about me. There's too much suffering of some of the most vulnerable. And I know this trash wanted to cover that up. They put effort to do that. To make everybody else participate that enjoy this even more. Some of these clowns who used to call themselves negators, they gamify the whole thing. That negating how they torture women and children is so much fun. So that everybody else that is watching what's happening to me can live in this fantasized reality. I'm a target individual who deal with V2K, synthetic telepathy, and I have this perps that gang stalk me and do all this thing that just, at that point, it's just, it doesn't, I don't think, they don't even have to do anymore. But I have the community involvement, like the typical thing target individual deal with. So for me, when they manipulate my brain in these disgusting ways, one, they want me to think that's not the typical things they've done to other target individual. And so they use this teenage trash to try to utilize them to kind of disorient me, distract me, and not be able to see them for the typical clown trash involved in the program where they're known to be disorienting the target individual in this way, try to make the target individual internalize these things, and also, in some cases, when it comes to children being tortured, mock the suffering of these children to break the mother or the father or the parents psychologically. And for me, because I listen to that all the time, their job is to negate that, is to cover that up. They never want me to see them as these people who are involved in something where they harm babies like that, or perceive this as that. And it's feeling really bad, because guess what? I'm staying wise. And they know I'm staying wise. And so what's happening when these perps come near me? Oh my goodness. Any of that behavior that they utilize to gaslight me could be a dangerous thing. And they know I don't care about my life anymore. So I think it starts to dawn on them that we could jeopardize our life being clowns to somebody who has nothing to lose, who knows that we are involved in some diabolical things that we are gamifying. We're not somebody like him who has his health is over. If he does something to us, he has nothing to lose. He could kill us, which I'm not saying we will do that, because he has nothing to lose. And he knows what we do and what we're part of and how we've been negating, mean and cruel. So it's some of these clowns start to connect the dots a little bit, just things start dawning on them, which I don't care. Stay disconnected or not. But you put yourself in this circumstance, you deal with somebody who knows the horror that you're part of. And it's so hard at this point to try to convince somebody who knows what they do to others that they're not doing the same to you. Even if they try to agitate me in different ways. Matter of fact, the agitation just makes it even more clear. And the truth is, I'm not a cold-blooded person, but I have to start seeing things for what they are. They thought in life, if you behave a certain way, especially these people who are not fully developed mentally, even the young adults or these teenage kids, they think that's how things go. I'm like, oh, it's like you almost want me to make you an example. Because so many are watching what's happening here. That it's like they want me to say, like, for those perps observing what's happening to me, you think you can do all these horrible things and start psychologically trick yourself into thinking this thing in this different fashion, playing in people's brain, and think that that's how it's gonna go. Concocting, manipulating yourself, even your own ways of thinking, So you become less rational. It's like you're almost forcing me to have to do something because you have to expect this kind of things comes to this. There's a consequence. You drive people into insanity, things gonna happen. You think you're gonna pacify by using some teenage trash? Because nobody wants to have their dirty hands on this trashy shit. Nobody wants to have their blood on there. But look at this man called Steve Marlowe. He's executed a 15-year-old. He was not a killer. Especially a killer that was capable of killing a 15-year-old. He pre-recorded a video. Talk about, I'm about to execute individuals who are involved in this thing. This is not a shooting event. It was calculated. He prepared it and shot the life out of a 15, shot the shit out of her. So you expect somebody to maintain sanity with this little trashy? It's like you almost want the target individual to do that. And then surprised that he does that when you are pushing that. So it's like they almost want you to like do that. And they think they can mind trick you into like, what? The hatred I have toward these people is by the second. You start minimizing how human they are. Dehumanizing them by the second. The hatred is blowing in. It's worse and worse and worse and worse. And the worst part is they do that when I'm isolated. So it gets worse. And then when you're around other people, you just realize that, man, life is so easily can. Now, let me go back to this. I am not condoning violence, but I get it. I understand what this program can push somebody to do. But some of these perps are so entitled that they expect nothing to happen. And even though there's case studies of what is literally happening, this example of the most non-violent person turning to a violent person, when you clearly see that's not what the kind of people they are, they're not violent. Steve Marlowe, you think he is capable of going to a kitchen of somebody's house after executing a mother in a garage? They go into the house and shoot a 15-year-old that was having lunch because he thought she was a perp. Myron May, somebody who's a prosecutor, lawyer, an educated black man, very non-violent looking person. Oh my gosh, talk about square. He had a prayer before he went to do this. He was wearing a sweater vest and a shirt when he went to a library at the university to shoot up the place. Go listen to his pre-recorded stuff before he went to do that. Now, other target individuals perhaps were a little bit more on the not aggressive side, but they were probably a little bit already on a capability of like not crashing out, but they were trained in the military or whatnot. So you trigger them, there's gonna be quick effect of like crashing out. You ain't gonna see this Aaron Alexis, this guy who was in the Navy. He's been trained in the military. He knows how to shoot guns and things like that. So this is just his instinct is gonna kick in. Even the Robert Card, this is just it's like triggering a bomb there. Just man's been training people to kill for years and then try to push somebody like that. That's just. But anybody can reach that level. But the thing is to expect nothing to happen when you do this kind of things. It's bad. Now, I'm not saying that because I'm warning that I'm going to do that. I'm just saying that I understand the reality of that. And I do ask God to give me strength. But if this trash do these things in front of me and play this game in front of me, it's going to be dangerous. Now, even if they don't do that, for me, I'm not planning, like I don't want to do something like that. but I know that we all have a limit. I just hope I don't reach mine. But in regard of what's happened to me, the gaslighting has been non-stop. This disturbed me. Let me just be quick. As always, for me, let me just start with the typical manipulation. Let me just start with the black little girls. Actually, funny part is, it's funny how I know they manipulate me. That's how acceptive have I been with the reality of me. Even when the manipulation are not that intense. I'm like, it's not intense because I'm like some house and I'm napping. It's because they just choose not to force this extreme level of intense stimulation. Like, they even want me to feel like they want me to be accountable for how they control me. I was like, oh, it's not intense because you decided not to be. I know it's up to you guys. Control my body and how I'm going to react. I have accepted the reality. This is so, like, as a target individual, is you have to accept that in this program, if you deal with V2K and synthetic telepathy, they control you to a level that you don't even understand. So far, I've accepted, it's like, oh, if you don't stimulate me to have this intense stimulation and you maybe decreased it a little bit, it's because you chose not to. Probably because you want to create mental battles. Probably because you're just trying to make me feel like it's me. I have like some control over it. When in truth is, you just decided to not make me have this extreme stimulation. That's how bad it is now. Like, in regard of accepting reality, I fully accepted this. That I am no longer me. You're going to decide how I'm going to experience things, and then you're going to gaslight me for whatever experience you force me to have, as intense or non-intense. This is an example. Usually, when I see this like black little girls, they want to make me have this like intense stimulations and like, oh, it matched it to you. Let me see. This girls here. These little black girls. It's like, oh, we match it. In my mind, they try to make me they're ugly. It's like, no, you just decide not to force me to have that intense stimulation, but they force me to have something. It's small right now, but they can make it much more intense than that. And when they make me have this intense stimulation, sometimes what they try to do is like match you when you were a kid. And then there's like little babies like that. Now this is a little boy, right? They can make me have, and then I think it may force me to get a stimulation that was intense at some points. But because I have I was in the life of like a little boy for the first 2 years when I was in a relationship with somebody. So I have a picture with this little boy, and it's like, what happened then? So like, oh, boys is not real, girls is. And then there's also like a baby here, like where you see a portion of a baby, and they're trying to mess with me. As I'm saying that, I'm trying to. It's like, oh yeah, maybe because this is a baby girl. Like, first of all, you can't even tell if it's a baby girl or boy by looking at the eyes. And regardless of what gender this baby is, this is the typical things they do. So that is the typical things that I'm experiencing, and I know it's gonna be forced. So for me, I expect that to happen all the time. Even like it has traumatized me to see children. It's traumatized. There is no way that today they will force me to get stimulation, and even if they don't stimulate me immediately, later on they can come and stimulate me more. I am terrified to see children because of that. It's like I have PTSD because they're gonna do these nasty things, and then they will try to make me internalize this. Now, thankfully, I'm not a parent. I don't have kids, so I'm okay if I never see children. I'm very okay. But imagine that they do that to parents that have kids. And they force them to have sexual arousal. I was listening to this testimonial, some others claiming that. And they're like, yeah, but it's rare. It's rare. So let me guess, every once in a while, you force mothers to have sexual arousal toward their own children. What does it mean? It means that it's that nasty. And can you imagine trying to make somebody accept this manipulation when their own children, so all of a sudden I'm forced to get toward my babies? I've been raising my babies. And all of a sudden this is happening? And these clowns, of course, this is maybe rarer to target individual with kids, but they do that to known parents, target individual who are female, and force them to have sexual arousal toward other kids. This manipulation of libido is common. Now, doing that toward mothers and their own children, that's... Can you imagine trying to gaslight somebody like that? That also, when you're bathing your child, you feel stimulation. They still do that. And by the way, they will mean they're like, oh, we do everything. It's like, is it like this? Nah, I don't have any children. So, for me, if I'd never seen, I'm okay. That's why I'm so thankful. There's nothing worse here. To be a target individual with children. And it's funny with me, they try to be like, yeah, you will never be a father. They're like, I'm okay. Do you think I want to be a parent in this circumstance? You know how terrible this sounds like? I'm sorry to all the target individual with kids. I'm sorry. Stay strong. You hear this trash. They try to make the noise campaign. I'm sorry for you. It's hard. These clowns around you are going to try to gaslight you. They are bottom feeders who work for pedophiles, and they're known for doing these things. Who are willing to laugh at you seeing your child suffer. To all these clowns, listen to me. You'll go to hell. But your bottom feeder will sell your soul to pedophiles. And I'm speaking loudly because I know this trash is trying to make this noise campaign. You understand that? For me, I know what I'm dealing with. They do horrible things. But I will not allow them to think that I'm internalizing this. Knock on the door more. By the way, I told him to drop this thing on the... I told him to drop them there. They still try to knock. Keep knocking on the door, buddy. I will never allow this trash to even think I'm internalizing these things. They've been trying to make me accept this. I get mad. No, you do the typical things you do to mothers and children, and you can knock on the doors as much as you want. You will never make me subscribe to this, you piece of shit, for all the children who suffer in this program, who died in this program. I pray, I thank God I could live life like these fuckers. Involved in a program where babies are tortured. Keep knocking on the door. Target individual, you gotta be strong. But you gotta see this shit for what they are. They are cowards who are known to be torturing even mothers toward their own children. So I'm saying thank you, God, I don't have children. Because those are the people who suffer the most. T.I., if you have children, I'm sorry for what you're going through. Because I can't imagine going through these horrible things with your child. And seeing your child suffer. Or even you suffering to the point where you can't be a proper parent. And you have shit like that. Try to cover up. With me, I've accepted things for what they are. I have no emotion. I'm glad they do that. I'm cool and collected. And when we face each other, I'll do what needs to be done. You know, I've accepted that my life is not looking good. But I'm ready to face anything. The one thing they were trying to make me subscribe, and actually as he's knocking on the door, you hear them doing this thing? He's trying to play with my brain. And he's trying to time it. Because they wanted me to think that this experience they forced me to experience is matching to me as a kid. And that's why he's doing that at the same time. Hey, keep knocking, buddy. He's trying to make me subscribe to this. Because what he's trying to do, he's trying to negate how I know they do these things to women and children. And they force mothers to have sexual arousal toward their babies. And for me, they're like, now we're matching to you as a kid. And that's why he's knocking on the door. Watch. You're not matching. You're manipulating, you piece of shit. Keep knocking on the door. And that's how you gotta see this trash. Because I prove they do these manipulations. I prove they hurt children. I prove the entities running this program are top tier pedophiles. And I prove that they do some diabolical things to even babies. And what they've done to women is so diabolical. Sexually torturing them and sexually torturing babies, burning the genitals of children. Keep knocking on the door. He doesn't want to knock on the door now. Because he knows that I know that they torture children to the point where burning genitals of children is applied. And this is the trash knocking on the door, hoping that I'm going to subscribe to that. You understand? And for me, I'm not worried. I'm going to keep this as long as possible. Tagging Vigil, to all of you, stay strong. I'll face this fucker whenever. But he knows he's going to run away. And let me repeat why he's knocking on the door. They're trying to make me think that what I'm experiencing today is matching to me when I was a kid and bring up this dumbass thing I did when I was a child. And that's why he's knocking on the door. But I know this trash knocking on doors involving a program where they torture children sexually and burning genitals. And that's when he's now knocking on the door now. You see how the game goes? Let me repeat that. He's going to try to do that. They think that what they're doing to me right now is just making me as a child and bringing up the stupid thing I did to myself when I was a child. And this trash is involved in a program where they torture and burn genitals of children and forcing women to have sexual arousal toward their own children. Yeah, he doesn't want to do that because it's right on cue. It will never happen. You guys want to see how it goes? Watch.
No, it's not for you. It's only, I need a picture for the back.
You heard that? You gotta see this shit for what they are. I'll face them for the low life. To all my Tagging Vigil, I'll make sure that this low life don't leave the fantasy for all who suffered and died in this program. And I thank this clown for being the clown on camera for me.